Hello, luxury real estate agents. We're continuing our discussion here of real estate misconceptions, especially as they apply to the high end. You might think I'm obsessive or a little bit OCD about this whole concept of comps and comparables and do we need them or do we use them or do the wealthy accept them? Because I actually heard somebody say at the recent convention in Anaheim, California, that wealthy people don't care about comparable sales. They don't care about market data. Your job is just to pick a number, put a high number on the house and do incredible marketing and get the property sold. And you know, I'm finding that especially in this market, but in all markets during my 37 years, that people in the high end are very astute, they're very business driven. If anything has changed in the market, it's the propensity of high net worth individuals to treat the purchase of luxury real estate, whether it's a second or third or fourth home, like they do their business. I had one buyer tell me one time when we were going back and forth in the offer process about, she talked about the metrics weren't lining up with the comparable sales. I'm like, metrics? What are you talking about? We're buying a summer house here. What are you talking about metrics for? But anyway, I understand, as I said before, that nothing's really comparable to your property when it's in the high end. But at the same time, I really think we need to use comparable sales when we're setting a benchmark, or at least having something to hang our hat on where we're advising the seller as to the range of prices where they should list their property. I disagree with the notion that we don't need to use comparable sales. I agree that comps are hard to find, or l'équivalence, to use the French word. For example, you have 20 acres on the water. I'm doing a CMA now on a house that has an indoor pool where they spend millions of dollars to build it. Yeah, there's no comps to that. Platinum faucets, Nantucket wicker toilet seats, I've seen it all. And it's really hard to comp this stuff. At the same time, we need to find a way to make the incomparable comparable. We'll talk about that next week. Understand also that sellers in the luxury end are skeptical. They want to know where your numbers came from. And that's why we make adjustments to our sales. The bottom line here, agents, is that wealthy people are smart. For the most part, that's how they became wealthy. You cannot fool them with semantics by changing the words of whether it's open house or comparables or whatever. So you need to find a process. You need to develop a quantitative way to adjust the comps to make the incomparable comparable. We'll talk about more about that next week. So no matter what word you use, the goal here, make the incomparable comparable. Help them get over that little hump that those other properties aren't like mine. I find in dealing with high net worth individuals that they're extremely numbers driven, they're extremely market driven, they're metric driven, and they love facts and figures, and they love spreadsheets. They love to see a process, and they just don't throw money around. I sold a house this summer for over $6 million. And after the deal was all signed up, before it closed, the seller, through his attorney, asked me, how much are the electric bills, what does it cost to mow the lawn, and what are the heating bills? And the seller was very busy, had been traveling on the world, and didn't have time to get all this information right away. And the buyer was becoming very impatient about wanting this information. Now understand, this buyer is on the Forbes 400. I mean, that means he's worth more than $1 billion, yet he's worried about the electric bill, the gas bill, and the landscaping bill on this property he bought for overflow for his guests. So they don't throw money around. That's how they became wealthy in the first place. They really want to know how you arrived at your numbers. Therefore, you need to have a process. You need to find, if you want to find a new name for your comps, go ahead, call them relevant properties, recent sales. L'équivalent is the French word. They are not fooled by names. They want information. They want data. They want process. They want proof of the number that you suggest, or the range that you suggest for pricing their property. So I hope that clears things up a little bit about some of the misconceptions I heard at the recent convention. Again, if you have any questions, email me, jack@jackcotton.com. Don't forget, if you bought the book, that you get a 20-minute phone consultation with me. Just fill out the form and fax it to me. Until next time, make it a great week.